Hello everyone, this is a really casual tea time with Chloe today. I do have my tea. It wouldn't be a tea time with Chloe if I didn't have my tea. My DSLR is really playing up for me, and it's just not producing good quality footage at the moment. So I'm just going to film this on my phone, and it means it's easier for me to edit, even though the quality is not that great. And I can get it up sooner, so you'll see it sooner. And Lord knows I need to get back on track with uploading my videos, so we're gonna do this. Sorry, my mum just texted me, so I had to reply to her because I was hoping to go around there this afternoon. So yeah, as you can see from the title, today's Tea Time with Chloe is a Q&A rather than a topic video. Way back at the beginning of February, I asked on Instagram stories for some questions for a Q&A, and I received more questions than I thought actually, so I've narrowed it down to just a couple. And then I never got to film the Q&A because I was really poorly and just didn't really want to sit and do a sit-down video. So I'm doing it today, and it's actually the end of April, so it's a good nearly 3 months since I received these questions, but we're just gonna roll with it. If I didn't get to your question, I'm really sorry. Either you asked sort of the same as somebody else, or I didn't feel comfortable asking it. I did get some quite personal questions that I decided not to answer, but the rest of them I think I've got here, so let's get into it. Name something you miss and something you don't miss from your previous house. There's quite a few things that I miss and quite a few things that I don't miss. So something that I miss would be the square rooms, which sounds like a really odd thing to say, but the rooms in that house were square, and they were really easy to furnish, and there were really obvious places to put certain furniture, whereas in this house there's a lot of stuff on the walls. A lot of the rooms aren't sort of straight, they are all sort of like rectangular or square, but they haven't necessarily got obvious places to put things. Like there'll be a radiator in an awkward place or a door in an awkward place, which means you can't put anything against that wall. Our living room in particular is quite difficult to furnish, and at Christmas when we put the Christmas tree up, I really missed the old house because the old house looked so wonderful at Christmas, and this one I just didn't have anything in like a logical place. So that was a bit annoying, and I also missed the really brilliant water pressure because we have terrible water pressure here. The water just dribbles out of the shower. Most of the time I wash my hair at my parents' house, that's how bad it is. But we're getting the bathroom redone and we're having a pump put in, so hopefully that will help with the water pressure issue. And I also miss my craft room from the old house because it was just beautiful and it was everything that I wanted. Not that my craft room here is bad, but it just doesn't get much light and there's no alcoves. So again, there wasn't an obvious place to put furniture. So I had to think about it a little bit more. But there are also lots of things I don't miss, and honestly I would never move back into that house. We had very tricky neighbours who made lots of noise and did inappropriate things in their garden. On the regular, and it was very uncomfortable living there. I didn't feel safe or happy in my own home. I don't miss the area at all. The area was really quite dodgy, and I don't miss having no parking. We had communal parking at the old house, whereas here we have a driveway for both of our cars, and I love that. So there's lists of things that I like, that I miss and don't miss from the old house. So there's a few for you. Do you have any advice for managing uni work with a chronic illness? In all honesty, I don't have that much advice because it's very, very difficult. And if you follow my weekly vlogs, you'll have seen that I've recently gone through this again. I've had a really bad Crohn's relapse from December to probably like the end of March, and I'm still recovering now. It's going to take a long time to get back to where I was before I got ill. But I struggled with my uni work. I got very, very behind, and this last semester, so from January to now, I only attended 3 lectures. It was really bad. My biggest piece of advice is don't push yourself, because it's better to get an extension for a piece of work and do it when you feel better than to try and force yourself to do it and get a grade that you maybe wouldn't have got if you had waited till you were better. Thankfully things did work out for me okay so far, in terms of grades and things. I think maybe some of my lecturers took pity on me a little bit, but my biggest piece of advice would be take advantage of every piece of support that can be put in place from the university. Every university will have a student services, you can go to them for advice. I mean, you don't have to physically go in as well if you're too ill to go in. You can call them, email them, Skype call them. They will have things they can put in place, and speak to your lecturers and speak to your faculty advisors and things, because they can put extensions in place for you. I had extensions for all of my work this semester, apart from my dissertation presentation at the end of the semester. But I would really recommend getting as much support as you possibly can from your university and not pushing yourself to do all the work if you're genuinely just not well enough to do it. Will you be catching up on your travel scrapbook on Patreon? Yes, I actually posted a process video onto my Patreon 2 days ago for my travel album, and I've actually just uploaded and scheduled another one for Patreon that will be going live tomorrow morning. So yes, I am catching up with my travel album on Patreon. I know that for a little while I didn't post anything about my travel album, and that was purely because I was genuinely too ill to even sit at my desk and scrapbook, but hopefully now things will be getting a little bit better. I am going to post a video, if any of my patrons are watching, I am going to post my chatty vlog at the end of April explaining my plans for May, because I'm going to do things a little bit differently, I think. But yeah, my travel album scrapbook process videos are over on my Patreon, and I've put 2 up this week. How many teapots do you own? I mean, you can see some of my Emma Bridgewater behind me. I'm not sure how many teapots I own, being totally honest with you. I'll see if I can count some. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 on that dresser, and I've got a Christmas one as well, so that's 8. And then I've got a bunch of Cath Kidston ones too. Sorry, Archie wants to come up. Hi! I've got several Cath Kidston ones as well, so I've definitely got a good few teapots. Oh, that is nice, Snuggles. Yeah, quite a few. Don't ask me how many mugs I've got. Are you currently subscribed to a scrapbook kit? No, I'm not, and I haven't been since Like Forever closed down. Some people thought that I was affiliated with Like Forever. I wasn't. I just absolutely loved them. It was a brilliant kit, one of the best I've ever come across. Why are you licking my top? Let's not do that. I absolutely loved them, and I was devastated when they closed down. I'm still really sad about it. The scrapbooks I made with those Like Forever kits were probably my favourite ones I ever made, so yeah, I'm quite sad about it. I also really used to love Gossamer Blue, which was an American kit, and I was subscribed to their Life Pages kit for a really long time, and the cards were amazing. But unfortunately they closed down as well, so no, I'm not currently subscribed to a scrapbook kit. I kind of wish I was, but I don't really have the disposable income at the moment to pay for it, because I'm trying to save up for a holiday. So no, I'm trying to use up my stash, and yeah. Which planner do you regret destashing? So if anyone doesn't know, destashing is where you go through your stash and you sell it, or you give it away, so you destash it. And I have destashed many planners in my time. I sort of had a one in, one out policy for a long time, so if I bought a planner, it would be with money that I had made from selling another one, because I had a ridiculous collection of planners at one time. So there are a lot of planners that I regret selling, and one of them in particular is the mint green, what did they call it? The mint green Kiki K that had the, the word has completely escaped my brain, but it had a really pretty spine basically, and I had it in medium and large, and I destashed both of them, and I just don't know what possessed me. I obviously needed the money at the time, but I wish... Archie, what are you doing? But I wish I hadn't gotten rid of them, because I loved them so much and I miss them. And now when you come across them, they're either really expensive or they're not in very good condition, because it's a much older planner now. So you know, if they've been used and loved, they might not be in great condition. So I wish I'd never got rid of that. I do have 4 Nahla, which I had no intention of destashing, but I'm thinking of actually selling 2 of them to help raise the money for this holiday. And yeah, I'm holding off because I feel like that might be something I regret, but I've had them in my collection for about a year now and I've not used them yet. So that tells me that they need to go on to a loving home, and they're worth a decent amount of money as well. So I really should, but I'm really worried I'm going to get seller's regret. Are craft videos going to be on YouTube or... My neighbour's dogs are barking. Are craft videos going to be on YouTube or only on Patreon? So this is a question I get a lot, so I figured it was one that I should definitely answer. Craft related videos will still be on YouTube as and when I feel inspired to film them. The truth of the matter is, at the moment, I'm struggling with scrapbooking quite a lot. I don't have very much time to sit and craft, because any spare time I do have needs to be spent on university work, because even though I don't have very many assignments left, I've got 2 essays left for this year, and then I'm done apart from my dissertation. So obviously most of my time needs to go on my dissertation. So it's very difficult to find the time to craft, and then when I do, I'm struggling quite a lot with inspiration, which is a question... Archie, no. Which is a question that somebody else asked me, which I will answer in a minute. I'm struggling quite a lot with inspiration. I'm feeling very, very uninspired. There's nothing that I want to scrapbook, so I've recently just ordered a bunch of my Disney photos in the hopes that they might inspire me to scrapbook a little bit more. It's not that I don't enjoy doing it, it's just that I really got out of the habit of doing it during being poorly, and last year was an absolutely crazy hectic year. I barely scrapbooked all year, and I've got out of the habit of doing it, and now it doesn't necessarily feel natural to me. When I sit down, I find myself second guessing every creative choice I make, and I'm finding it quite difficult, basically. So any craft videos I do get the time to produce go on Patreon, because I have patrons there who are paying for that content. So any videos I do have the inspiration to make and I do have the time to make go over on Patreon. But there are still creative videos here. I think my bullet journal videos are a form of creativity, and also I've recently, just this week, filmed a Project Life flip through of my 2017 album, which I finished in February, I think. So that will be going up soon. So my YouTube viewers always get to see the finished product of any album. You always get the flip through. That will always be on YouTube and not just confined to Patreon, but my patrons do get the majority of my process videos, so they will see the album coming together and you guys will see the finished product, and that's how it's working at the moment. Are you going to PlannerCon Europe 2019? Sadly, no, I am not. I went in 2017 for their first event. I was very kindly gifted a ticket, sort of at the last minute really, so it was a very last minute trip, but I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. I met Erin Condren for the first time, and the stalls were all amazing, the goodies were amazing. Going to Brussels with my friends was amazing. It was the first time I had ever travelled by myself, like flown by myself. I had so much fun. It was really, really good. Such a fantastic event. They didn't do an event in 2018. They didn't put on an event in 2018 because one of the organisers had a baby, and now they are putting on another event in the same place this year. It's next month, it's in May, and unfortunately I made the decision not to buy a ticket because it was in the same place. So if it had been in a different city or in a different country, I think I would have gone again. But because, unless it's Disneyland Paris, I don't tend to like going back to the same place twice, because there are a lot of countries on my bucket list. There are a lot of European countries on my bucket list as well. And I would rather do a city break in another country or another city than go back to the same place. So I think if they do, for example, if they put on another event next year and it was in Amsterdam, for example, or somewhere like that, I would definitely go, I think. But because it was in the same city, in the same venue this year, I made the decision to spend my travel money elsewhere. So yeah. How do you get inspiration for layouts? This is the question I sort of briefly answered already, in that at the moment I'm actually really struggling with inspiration for anything. But generally when I was making sort of like 12 by 12 layouts, I would look a lot on Instagram or Pinterest. Pinterest is actually really good for scrapbooking inspiration. A lot of people still use it to upload all of their layouts. A lot of design teams like you to have a Pinterest board that you upload all of your work to, so you can find so much inspiration, and obviously on Instagram as well. I would also be inspired just by things I had seen. So I've got layouts, a picture of a sunset, that were inspired by the photo itself, the colours in the photo itself, and the colours of a photo definitely do inspire me. I pick out my supplies based on the photos a lot of the time. But like I said, at the moment inspiration is something I'm really struggling with, so if any of you have any tips, do let me know. Have you ever considered going to Summer in the City? No, I haven't. I know they have YouTubers of all kinds there that you can meet, but generally a lot of the people who go to those events are people that I don't really watch anymore. And it's just never really seemed like my sort of thing. What do you want to do when you finish your master's degree? This is something I've been thinking about a lot as well recently, because obviously I'm nearing the end of my master's. My dissertation isn't due in until September, but it is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. Also because I've had a lot of time off work recently with being poorly. So I've had that sort of like step back from my job. I've been approaching the end of this degree, and I've been thinking about what I would want to do afterwards. And I'm starting to think if maybe I should branch out into something new in terms of a career, maybe try and use my degree and use this master's that I've worked hard for. I've never been someone who's been really career minded. I've never had a career that I wanted to do. I thought I might want to be a teacher, and then when I started working in a school I realised that I was much happier as a teaching assistant. For those of you who don't know, I work with SEN children, so children who have additional needs, and I work as a one-to-one, and I've done that now for... This is my third year. This is my third year doing that. So apart from a retail job when I was a teenager and throughout university, this is the longest I've ever stayed in one job title, I guess. Because I do genuinely really enjoy it, and being chronically ill, it's very handy to work part-time and have the school holidays to recover from a busy term. And also thinking forward to the future, I would like to have children in a couple of years, and working in a job that is just school hours and term time is obviously very handy when you have children, because you're off when they're off and you finish work when they finish school. So thinking forwards, it would be a handy job to be in when I have children. However, I did work hard at university, and I've worked hard for this master's, and sometimes I feel like I could maybe do something else, but I don't know what. So it is something I've been thinking about a lot, but I genuinely can't really answer the question because I really don't know what I want to do when I finish my master's. I honestly don't. Which Disney park do you dream of visiting? All of them. I would love to be able to say that I had been to all of the parks, but somehow I don't think that's going to happen with time and finances. Like I said, I do want to have children in a couple of years, and a couple of years doesn't give me very long to travel to all the places that I still want to travel to. So I would love to go to Florida. We were meant to go to Florida now, actually. We were meant to go to Florida from the 6th to the 20th of April, but we had to cancel it at the end of last year because of finances and because I wasn't very well. And yeah, so we cancelled that. And then we were going to go to Disneyland in California, which is the original Disney park that Walt Disney designed himself. And we were going to go there, and then we realised that the castle was covered over for renovations, and I don't want to go all the way there if I can't even see the castle and things like that. So for various reasons that was cancelled as well. So I would really like to go to those two parks, but the one I dream of visiting is actually Tokyo Disneyland. I just think that it looks incredible. The merchandise looks incredible, the food looks incredible, and yeah, I just think it looks amazing. So Tokyo Disneyland is the one that I really dream of going to, and I would love to go to Japan anyway. Japan is on my bucket list. There are lots of things and places that I want to see and do in Japan. So I would love to go there at some point. Unfortunately, it is not on my boyfriend's bucket list, so I don't know if we'll ever get there together or if I'll go one day with a friend. I don't know, but Tokyo Disneyland is the one that I dream of going to. But the castle at Shanghai Disneyland looks insane as well. Can you please do a Cath Kidston collection video? I would love to see all of the pieces you have. Probably no, because I have an unhealthy amount of stuff from Cath Kidston and it is literally spread all over the house. And I'm a perfectionist, so it would really annoy me if I filmed the video and then I realised afterwards that I had left out a load of stuff that was maybe in storage or packed away somewhere, or that I had just forgotten. So I think that video probably would be more stressful for me than enjoyable, so probably no. But I do love Cath Kidston, and I do have a lot of Cath Kidston stuff. Are you a confident person? I think I can come across that way, but on the inside that's not necessarily true. I think my family and my very closest friends would say, yes, you're a confident person, but I think some of it is maybe overcompensating for the social anxiety that I do actually feel, and a lot of that stems from really having a hard time at school. And I know there are some people who I went to school with who watch these videos, and I don't really know why they watch my videos, because they hated me so much at school and made my life a misery. So I don't know why they continue to watch my videos now, but I had a really hard time at school, and some really nasty things were said about me and done to me, and it resulted in me having to have counselling, and it's left some real scars, to be honest, and it's made me an easy target throughout the rest of my life. Often if anyone is gonna be picked on, it ends up being me. I think I am just an easy target, but I also do think I have a bit of a Marmite personality. Once I am comfortable with someone, I do have quite a strong personality. I don't like being told what to do. I don't like anyone trying to control me, and I think sometimes people don't like that. They don't like it when someone won't do as they say. But yeah, so I've been asked that question a couple of times, and I genuinely don't really know how to answer it, because my gut instinct is to say no, I'm not a confident person. I have a lot of insecurities, a lot of sort of social anxieties that stem from childhood and my sort of like early teenage years, and they have caused trouble later on in my life, because I really have self-confidence issues. But around my family and sort of my closest friends, I do have a very strong, loud personality. So I don't know. And I will finish with, where do you hope to be in 5 years, your life and your career? So I've kind of touched on career in that I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing, although in 5 years I like to think that I'll potentially be on maternity leave, because Will and I have obviously talked about having children, and I'd like to have a couple of children, so maybe I won't actually even be working at that time. Maybe I'll be on maternity leave with a little bubba, which I really hope is the case. I mean, I hope it's sooner than 5 years, but we'll see. I would really, at the very least, like to be married by then, possibly in another new house, or maybe just in this one but finished, because we've got so many plans for this house and I can't wait to get them underway. We're hoping to extend the kitchen, so hopefully that would be done in 5 years, and maybe even with another dog, because I'd really love to rescue another dog. But like I said, for me, I've never really been career minded. I like having my own money. I like feeling like I have some sort of financial independence, which is why I go to work. But I just really want to be a mum and raise my children to be better than, you know, some of the generations before them, hopefully, and just be happy and content. That's all I really want. I just want to feel content, because at the moment there are lots and lots of things I want. I want to get engaged, I want to get married, I want to like start the work on the house, I want another dog, I want to have a baby, I want to travel. There's so many things I want to do, that sometimes I forget to be content with what I have, and I'm so lucky to have what I have. And yeah, I just hope that in 5 years' time I'm happy and content, but hopefully a mum. That's what I would really like. So I have yammered on for much longer than I had intended to, considering the amount of questions I had. I didn't have that many, but I just ramble. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions that you would like me to answer, do just leave them in a comment below and I will reply back to you and answer you, because I always try and reply to all of my comments. And I love chatting to you guys. So yeah, see you next time. Bye.